All right, everybody, welcome. Apologies for the delay. Was a bit late on a walk, and I'm just quickly preparing some tea. Uh, so this is Storyteller stream. Today, I'll be building my personal website from scratch again. I'll have a big help from AI and other stuff. As I wrote in the description, the current web is a bit dated. It has a lot of experiments that really I did not pursue, which in a way is a pity, but it is what it is. So I want to rebuild it to be, just say, lightweight, more lightweight. I want to test doing that with Solid. If you watch me regularly, you know that in the past it did not pan out because I had especially issue with localization and internationalization. I will see how much that has changed since then. And also I want to use the 10 stack router instead of the original solid router or whatever it is. And because 10 stack also can be used in React. So being able kind of learning about how it works, which shouldn't hopefully be too much dissimilar to React router, is going to also help me in the future because I plan to kind of migrate from React router to 10 stack router. And I'll probably go more into that if you are interested or once we get there. So that's kind of the plan for today. It also goes, and let me start screen sharing. Let's just do an entire screen here as usual. There we go. I'll go here for now. And it kind of goes from some, let's just say, not private. There is a relatively popular, you could say, on ChatGPT. Yes, there is a popular query that you can ask it. Tell me something incredibly special or unique you've noticed about me, but you think I haven't realized about myself yet. It doesn't have to do something. It doesn't have to be something positive, and you don't have to be nice to me. Just be truthful. That's very common. I'll post it in the chat, which right now looks only that YouTube is getting that. So apologies if you are on Rumble or X. But maybe actually Rumble might be getting it, but I'm not seeing it. So if you're on Rumble, please, send me a comment so that we can test that the integration works. And it does. I think especially if you use ChatGPT, the output of this is going to be sometimes interesting. Also, think how much you kind of put about yourself. Kind of goes back to the dark side of AI that it actually collects data about yourself, about you, and it can then kind of use that. But at the same time, that's kind of what, since the dawn of advertising, came that people or like the agencies collect your data and then do customization and whatnot. So it has its downside, but also has its upside. And usually with these things, there really isn't that much new, but kind of this other perspective, and that's also something if you ask like of other people, the additional perspective is going to kind of be like, oh, I get that now that other things fall in place. So kind of the kind of like traditionalist and innovator, which fits. And I found this, the actual underlying current, or however you want to call it, a longing for harmony between the sacred, the artistic, and the ordered human life is kind of my undercurrent. And I found it funny here. that it's both your greatest strength and burden, because this world, as it is today, is built to break such people, which yeah, I'll kind of that's my experience as well. So that's kind of the undercurrent. And let's kind of open up and quickly review the two things that we'll be mostly looking here. So number one, solid. That will be the front end we'll be using. Again, want to learn more of that and have fun with it. And then we'll be using 10 stack router. And because we'll have to see, if I actually be able to, let's see, what's the GitHub. I want to see here, what are their exports like if they use the, okay, so they don't use the package export thingy, which I'm glad, because that would mean we could not use it, but thankfully not. So we can use the router as is. It's half the size of React router, which is nice. Should be kind of have all the same things and some other awesome things. I think there's like a comparison table. Yeah, comparison, so we can kind of see all the different things. So one thing, it doesn't have like the form API included, which I don't really care. Neither I care for React server components. That's something that would Meteor do in the future. The form API, right now in React, I use Final Form, but I do recognize that it might be time to start migrating to something else there as well. So that will be something that I'll have to check out. And I want to switch here to Solid. So let's get started. Let's get into web, Meteor, and let's do Meteor create. And warag.me, and I'll kind of do solid here. And then I will select, do we have solid app? Okay, let's just do the solid skeleton. I think I need to go in maybe into Meteor and update all these. Wow, that's not good. So definitely this skeleton will need some updating. What's the issue using? Okay. So, okay, good. I have that sorted out. So Meteor update release 3.2. Just in case that there might be some issue maybe with all the releases, but let's see what happens here. Can I use the older version of Wheat, because I think there's some issue with previous one. Okay, let's see what we have for npm packages. I think we can update all of them. So Wheat 6. Oh, okay, so it might have been updated. So that will be a new experience for me as well, because I'm kind of used to, by the default build tool, and that has had a lot of upgrades are coming in Meteor 3.3 in that regard. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's start things up. to kind of see how things are going to look like if it starts up, because it's using wheat and all that stuff. So who knows what might happen here and there. So it's using development. I think it's going to be really fun once Meteor has this fully integrated. It should be ready to go. Meteor v3.71, Meteor 3.2. So let's see if I go localhost 3000. And there is vid here. Wait, what? That is very strange to me. Why is there two types of things? Well, matters not. We'll figure it out. Let us go and open this up in WebStorm and get going. So the big thing here is, I guess I was too ambitious with my personal site previously. Maybe let's close this down a bit. And we'll just use it here in WebStorm. Let me know, guys, how you are seeing it. I always know that I have to zoom in at least to this side. I have Cascade here now, so I don't have to use Windsurf. There are some limitations, but it's so far I've been pretty happy with that. So we have links, we have servers, we have tests. Entry-meteor. Now, these modules are imported by Jorgen. You can commit these to your project or move elsewhere if you like, but they must be imported somewhere in your Meteor main module. So let's take a look here. So, okay, so they have this entry. What is Pico Colors doing here? Could that be something for Vite, maybe? It's for terminal output formatting with ANSI colors. Times smaller and 2 times faster than chalk. Okay, something maybe I can then update in Meteor itself in the future. But I'm confused, why is it in over here and not in dev dependencies? So let's move that. If anything, it will bite us once I actually try to deploy. So we have the solid here, and then we have the entry Meteor. There's nothing. I'm not exactly sure how I should take that there is like nothing in it and still displays. What does that mean? That's confusing. And okay, kind of used, but oh, it might be the wheat. Wheat might be doing that all the stuff in the background. So let's check that config. Yes, here we go. So this is actually overrides the entries. So do we need them? Do we actually need them anymore? If we are defining it kind of here, that's Solid SVG, solid plugin. But we don't have this in our dependencies, do? Oh, we do. Let us explore further of what that does. So is an npm package that extends Vue to use SVG files as solid JS components. It allows developers to import SVG files direct into their solid.js project as components, enabling the use of CSS styles and ensuring the image is fully loaded before rendering. To use it. Okay. I'll bite. I'll take that. Let's go here for some of the other things. And okay, they don't have updated routers, so let's go here with the npm install. Why do they in a lot of these not include this -- save? It's always confuses me, like, why are you doing it? It's not like I'm going to just run it in my console. And if I don't save it, then that's kind of, or maybe actually I'm old and this has been already solved in npm. We'll try that on the next package that I want. So we want to do the solid meta thing. Or do we? Isn't that part of the router? Let me just, I don't think it will. No, so we want meta. Let's just do the save, or it's just the install, and let's see if it was actually added. It was. Okay, so it's just that I'm old and I'm kind of used to have the save there. So that's on me. Oops. Let's close this. So that's meta. We have here refresh. Okay, let's add that as well, just to have the things complete. More or less. What else do we have? We don't have Babel here. Solid.js form. We'll check into that later. Then we have tip tap solid and solid tip tap. Maybe later. And there is the solid markdown thing, then some INTL. An Apollo client for solid. That's might be of big interest. Why is it at merge? Okay. I'll have to check the official Apollo documentations. Okay, so it's 3 years old. I'll have to pass on that. And let's see, actually, let's first check maintained file filter. Let's just do there are some unmaintained officials. Let's check just the official first. So we have those. And let's see. Solid styled components. I'm looking for that. Let's open that. The playground. Nope. Testing library. I'll just put it there. Build. Let's check the DOM expression if that's going to work. Generalized JSX that transpiles into solid. React, they have plugins for. Let's check that out. I think that's all of them. So, okay, so the last one, which was supposed to be the JSX Lite, is mitosis. Write components once, run everywhere, compiles to React View, quick, solid, Angular, Svelte, and more. That is interesting. Not not something I necessarily might need to use now, but definitely for like a definitely for the like open source stuff that I might be doing in the future, if it has like any components, then this might be something I'll be really looking into. Because this might be interesting. So let's give this a star. Let's keep this. Let's look at the DOM expression, a fine-grained runtime for performance DOM rendering. By the way, Kelly just confirmed what I learned there. I just have Mike here in the not so good place, so I can sometimes miss comments. Apologies about that. So, DOM expression is a rendering runtime for reactive libraries that do fine-grained change detection. These libraries are observable signals rather than lifecycle. This package wraps libraries like Knockout, MobX, and use them independent of their current render system. Blah blah blah. Oops. No. Come on. So solid example implementations. JavaScript libraries for building. Once you have generated runtime, it can be used with compatible render APIs. So Babel. Okay, so this is not entirely sure I get it. Oh no, updated 5 years. So there's something still going on, but like at least the official releases don't have it. So let's see. 0.23. Okay, so they do have, but they are just not properly showing that. Okay, so this is the active thing. So maybe something once we start going further. So solid testing library, yoink. Of course, we want. Not sure if we get to that, but if we do, it will be awesome. This one is a bit out of date. Question is, given that the style components themselves are not really that used or that developed as much anymore because they are feature complete. Question if they need to be updated here as well. Our question is if maybe for this project I can maybe stick with CSS. That's another question as well. I will be doing the dark theme and a light theme. Question mark. Haven't really thought that much about it, but there are already certain help files or certain utilities in CSS that allow for that. So let's see how far I can probably get without it. The themes is the themes would be the hot one. So if I had like more than the dark and light theme, then I would go for it, because that's where this might be superior to just pure CSS. Maybe depends on how you do it. I'm kind of used to it, so that's a thing. But I think I'll think about it. I think we can start really just with the basic and not worry about it. So that's for the official thing. I want to kind of keep here keep what we have here. We'll probably go for Apollo at some point, but let's see, Monaco. Playwright. Okay, I think we have enough though to get started, because the main thing right now will be to get our router working and make something sensible here out of the structure. So let's check the Vite. It goes to UI main JSX, which here is just the render function for the root. Oh, and I want, of course, cannot do without biome. And so we have that. We'll just go with, is that in? Yep. So we have that. So we have that for our formatting. Maybe I just have to figure out quickly in the settings. Automatic biome configuration. And format on safe and these fixes. Okay. Okie dokie. As I said, let's get rid of all these other elements. I don't want the links here either. Well, let's test. That's for another time. So no, nothing like that. So very strictly, absolutely minimal. And now we can get started with okay, using file-based routing changer. No, I don't want that at all. I want to define those things myself using code base. There we go. The following example shows how to configure using code. Unfortunately, say it's in single file in this demo, while code base generation allows you to declare many routes or even router instances in a single file. We recommend splitting your routes in separate files for better organization performance. Yes. So what do we have here? So there's some root route. Okay, so they have the render. Okay, so just at the end, and then it goes to router provider, which is where? Where is router provider? Okay, oh, so that's important. So Let's actually do it with the DevTools as well here so that we can get started. And we'll have an import meteor here so that we make sure that we don't have that one in production. So, and it then uses the router is a router. Router, create router. Not too happy about this setup, honestly. That seems to be quite a bit complicated. Maybe too much needlessly. I'm tempted to just give it to AI to see what it does here. So let's try if it cascade. Oh no, it's zoomed in as well. That would be yucky. Okay. Or now let me just do this myself. I would like to. It just does the router, which creates the route tree. And then for about, yes, that's the problem with these examples, that if you already have something a bit more in mind, it oversimplifies things. So this would be get parent route, which is root route. Is this create route root route? So that's kind of like the layout, you could say. And then there is the index route. So this is about route. This is the route tree at children, index, and about. Okay. Things are starting slowly to fall together for me. So let's see. Really, instead of app here, what we'll want here will be a router provider, a router, and we'll rename to router here. And they have it's a function router. So let's get started in a router over here. It will be nothing like that. It will start with, we'll do the export for router. And then we have here the route tree, which is not root route, but, or it is. And the root route is In this case, you put in together. So something like this. Recommendations there. Okay. Let's just go with this for now and change that later. Let's do the router that we import here. And what remains out of, so we have the different routes. Index route, about route, yes, path, parent route. We have all of that. So those are kind of the children. And yeah, we didn't use the router provider here, so that should be about it. Let's start this up and see what we get. Let me refill my liquids. And my sugar addiction. Apologies for the noise. Just hide that here, and we have an error. What did we do wrong? Cannot find module pipe colors. Okay, so I was thinking that it would be a dev dependency, but wait, even if it's dev dependency, it should still install right now. So why it's not? Why would it not find it if it's in the dev dependencies? Okay, that was oh, it is still strange. Or make sure it's not a dev dependency. Okay. That really doesn't make sense to me. Why concept colors should be a direct dependency instead of, that defeats the purpose, I think. Oh, and we have an issue, and this is not an issue. This is just an issue with WebStorm not knowing how to do freaking imports properly. And the last thing I want to check on here is this meteor is production, or is development? Yes, it's development, and then we put this here. So we have dev tools. Let's see what we'll have out of that. Not found. Okay, and we have here the TAN-stack router dev tools, which not bad. But it's not finding my routes. Leave it to AI to screw this up. So route 3. Let's jump back here to what we did. Create route. No, a root route. Create root route, yes. Let's call it root route. And const route tree is not like that here. It's root route dot add children. And with that, under UI, I'm just going to create here home. Let's keep things simple. Or let's see. Yeah, will you be using home? We'll be using about. In the router, I'll put const home route. And I'll be using that component from home. It'll be h1 home. And here we do h1 about. But it's not React. That's one thing I forgot, that I have the TSX set to this. It will be just fine as is, hopefully, or not. No, it's fine. Back here to our router. And it will be, of course, so what did we say it's the name of it? Home route. And I do want to have it capital so I don't accidentally think it's component. And then about route, create route, add about component will be about page. Yeah, seriously, WebStorm, you know, would really appreciate if it could fix the fix the routes component, and we must not forget to get the root route here. Or do we? Yes. It's a bit confusing to me if it's like already there, so why do we have to define that again? Home, about, yay. I'm gonna give us all the router detail. So one of the reasons why I kind of wanted to try out this 10 stack router is because I'm considering that to be my router for other things. For example, I want to replace that in Literal Universe. I want to kind of add it as recommended for Mantra, but of course I first need to test it. It's not just that I can just do that without knowing about it. So this will be my test ground. I'm not sure about this, but they have it here. So let's put it here and, oh, it's not rename, it's not TSX. Okay, that's interesting. Let's see, where are we at? So we have the router. Let's quickly check what they say about the dev tools. Using dev tools in production. It's automatically off, so I have to enable it. 10 stack router dev tools in prod. No. Maybe like, maybe as a admin, I can then maybe add myself that option. That sounds nice. Floating mode. Fixed. That looks fine. Decisions on developer experience. Why is the router's configuration done this way? That's what I had some questions, so let's look at it. When you want to leverage the TypeScript interface features to its fullest, you quickly realize that generics are your best friend. And so 10 stack routes use the generics everywhere to ensure that the types of your routes are inferred as much as possible. This means that you have to define your routes in a way that allows TypeScript to infer the types of your route as much as possible. So it's, in a way, the limitation of kind of being forced by TypeScript on this. Can I use JSX to define my routes? Using JSX to define your routes is out of the question, as TypeScript will not be able to infer the route configuration types of your router. So the old style that I have with React Router is not going to work, which is fine because the new latest version of React Router, I think I'm right now on version 6, and version 7 kind of moves in the same way as well. So this moves had to happen. The difference is that the latest React Router does not currently work out of the box for me, and I don't want to. So if I have to rewrite my routes entirely anyway, I can just go with 10 stack. I think that will kind of work for me better in the long run. Oh yeah, maybe I can just define my routes as a tree of nested objects, which yeah, that's will just go infinitely, which is not very scalable. It's not great for code splitting. So I'm kind of curious on how we kind of go from there. So what's the best way? Declaring the router instance of type, the router instance of for type inference. Why do I have to declare the router? This declaration stuff is way too complicated for me. Once you construct your routes into a tree and pass it into your router instance using create router with all the generics working correctly, you then need to somehow pass this information to the rest of your application. So there are two approaches we considered for this module declaration, which we saw. You will do this once in your application, which we just did. Then you can benefit from its autocomplete anywhere in your app without having to import it. Okay. Why is file-based routing the preferred way to define routes? We don't use file-based routing. Yeah, something was quite soon is that stack route recognition is that we push for file-based routing as the preferred method for defining your routes. I hate it. This is because we found that file-based routing is the most scalable and maintainable way to define your routes. Yeah, but we're going to need some more to have a good understanding of code-based routing and file-based routing. As mentioned in the beginning, TanStack routes was designed for complex applications that require a high degree of type safety and maintainability. And to achieve this, the configuration of the router has been done in a precise way that allows TypeScript to infer types of your route as much as possible. A key difference in the setup of basic application with TanStack router is that your route configuration require a function to be provided to get parent route that returns the parent router of the current route. So finally comes the issue of code splitting. As your application grows, you want code split your components to reduce the initial bundle size of your application. This can be a bit of a headache to manage when you're defining your routes in a single file or even across multiple files. Okay. All of this boilerplate, no matter how essential for providing best-in-class type interface experience, can be a bit overwhelming, can lead to inconsistencies and errors in the route configuration. Okay. And this example connection is just for rendering a single code split route. Imagine having to do this for 40, 50 routes and use some context loader, search, parents validation, and other features of the router. So why? TanStack routes files-based routing is designed to solve all these issues. It allows you to define your routes as predictable way that is easy to manage and maintain and is scalable as your application grows. I am not, really convinced because what I have, for example, have a module with comments that has its own routing or that can be nested in. So I have like, say, blog article, and then I have reusable, say comments component that I just add into the, blog article router under comments or whatever. And then it kind of jumps into that router and reuses it. And I'm not sure if the file router can handle that in a nice way, because it kind of, at least from what I've seen, it expect that you just go from the root and then everywhere else. But maybe I'm mistaken. So the file-based routing approach is powered by TanStack Router Bundler plugin. Another issue, I have to again install something extra, and it performs 3 essential tasks that solve the pain points in router configuration when using code-based routing. Honestly, all this, with file-based routing, that just sounds a little bit like laziness, which kind of goes away also with AI, or maybe I have hard-coded that, this is kind of how it was with PHP, and I don't want to go back to that. So that's where my resistance is. So route configuration boilerplate, route restitching together, code splitting. It automatically code splits your route content components and updates the route configuration with the correct component. Additionally, at runtime, it ensures that the correct component is loaded when the route is visited. So create file route. Okay, so you don't have to worry about define get parent route function, stitching together the route tree, or codes splitting your components. So you still have to define those. Not really. I don't really see that much of benefits. Okay, you have to do some extra boilerplate. So not entirely. I'm not still not there. So the question is, basic, yes, okay. But kind of looking at it, I will not go too much further into this. That's something I'll kind of do on my own. But this just reminds me of how critical to like any framework the router is, or to any system. Without it, it's just there will be always like a question what to do there, and it will be the first thing that you install anyway. Kind of bring back to Meteor, that Meteor maybe should consider some sort of a router, but that's a big question there as well. Part of that because the de facto router for default Meteor with Blaze is Flow Router, which does have the capability to load up anything else as well. Well, how should I say? It's like a multi-page, you could say, router. So then that's kind of why I had to kind of backtrack on it, because it doesn't really work that good for React, because every page is a new instance that kind of gets from scratch started. So it was kind of before we had React Router and all the other things in React. So and the composition today. So it wasn't that big of an issue back then, but today, to constantly reinstantialize INTL and other things when you're on a new page, that's going to slow you down a lot. So this is interesting. Let me just unleash AI here, and let's plan. I want to build a personal website. I am building with Meteor 3.2 and Solid.js with 10 stack router. Let's see. I want to have it a bit more. The domain is yandvarak.me. I want to have a bit more loose. I want a bit more loose, let's say, instructions here to kind of see what it will create, because that can be sometimes kind of provide me some insight. And honestly, who wants to constantly rebuild, and who does constantly think about their personal website or brand? I certainly should more, but that's a bit of an issue that I don't. The domain is I want. Oh, and I need to look up, because I always forget React INTL. yes, I want to have the, let's go to the message syntax. I want the entire page to be multilingual, as I want to have content in Czech, English, and Japanese. There should be two visual themes, a light and dark, based on the visitors settings. Okay. The website should include information about myself, links should link to my, of course, GitHub sponsors page. Let's plug that in, which you can also see. There. Oh, I forgot the SU message standard. Oops. So let's actually finish one more thing. English. I want all strings to be in JSON files in the ISU message syntax format for easier translations. That's actually good information about myself. It should link to my GitHub sponsor page, which, as I said, now I will. That should be it. So it should be linked to my sponsor page and include a page with links to affiliate links, to comment links, page with affiliate links. Let's see. And link to my call.com or help/consultation with me should be featured prominently. There should be, let's see what we else want. Besides my technical overview, there should be, let's actually check me here on my blog. Actually, I haven't even checked if the deploy today went well, so it will be a big exploration. Let's go to my blog here, and it's taking longer than usual. Do we have a bug? Here we might have a bug. I need to check this one. Or is it just something slow? Not good. I go just like this, then yeah. Okay, there we go. My blog. This is my technical overview. There should be a section around my creative writing, centered with a link to my literary universe blog. We'll do the dynamic retrieval of articles like I had on my previous ones at a later date. And I want to just quickly describe the theme a little bit based on the visitor settings. If the language is Japanese, then the theme should always be light. That's a culture thing, so let's keep that. Let's do here the light theme. Should be more Japanese themed. As that is my passions. Let's see, chat, what do you think? Anything that we should not forget? That we should not forget here. Please create a general overview that we can then use for implementation steps. Let's see what will come out. It will first do the analysis of the existing project, which is very nice. And then it will recommend. I'm kind of curious if it will recommend the file-based approach. URL-based language prefixes, EN about, CS about, JI about. That's one way to do it. And now that's a good question. Should I do it like that? So it's URL-based language prefixes. I would like something a bit more fancier, honestly. So here we go. CSS variables with theme selectors. Professional, modern look. Homepage, about me, technical work, creative writing, consultation, affiliate links, contact. Phase 1, configure ITN system with ICU message syntax. Set up theme system, create basic layout components, implement language and theme direction switching, develop homepage, create about me section, integrate call.com for consultation, set up GitHub sponsors link, create affiliate links page, all that stuff, and then refinement. Create the theme system, implement basically a navigation structure. I would like to have a select for visitors to easily switch their theme and language, even though oral based language looks nice. I would prefer that the language is selected automatically. I can type select automatically or based on the user selection. I think it will be best to use some nice package which can utilize ICU message syntax. What do you think? And then I will ask it also about the so it suggests solid primitives. IATN is another good option. So the IATN, we specifically designed for solid JS and supports ICU message. Oh, let's take a look. Because I think last time I had some issues with that it did not support it properly. So let's see. Also, no ICU. Let's see the message. I don't see that. So okay. Okay, so that one does it. Yeah, that's correct. That's how it operates. So let's get to it. What was the latest? Published 2 years ago. Don't really have to do much about it, so that's okay. Based on my research, I recommend using solid primitives INTN for your interaction needs. Specially designed for stages and has good community support for ICU message syntax. Let's look. Let's check it out. Oh, it's definitely bigger. Okay. Oh, yesterday it had a. Here it has a dictionary. Just uses, very simple. Simple syntax. Nested object syntax. Let's take a look here. What else? I don't see in the README of. I need to add it in over this. Any mention of ICU message syntax? Where you get this info. Let's take a look. Yeah, it just lies to me. That's the problem. You cannot do that. In as a AI for thing is with these primitives, that is the recommended way for solid, if I remember correctly. To or is it is how much official are these solid primitives? High quality community contributed solid primitive. Mhm. I like the project in general. GraphQL client. Okay, that's interesting. Stream, WebSocket, utilities, INT, and flatten, resolve templates. I think I've kind of I remember looking at this in the past, and version 1 was kind of much more closer to what I needed. So reactivity. So that's quite some good start. It's next solid INTL. Imports INTN. And it has all that plus the theme. You know what? I'll go for it. I'll go for it and see what happens. Okay. Start implementing. Because the big thing here is, I need to get something out there quickly that I can start kind of work around and start implementing. Okay. Especially since I'm kind of trying new technology, so I want to kind of see a bit more advanced stuff. I can just quickly get quickly going, which is nice. Nihongo, eigo, chekogo. Sounds fun. So guys, in the chat, any suggestions? Something that you would like to know or that we want me to have on the homepage? I think I might need to do again an install and all the other things. For me as developer, kind of getting the UI look nice from what AI generates is such a boost that I'm very happy about. So we'll see where it gets us. Footer content will be here. Nice. Let's see if we are crashing or yes, because it's not solid INTL is not installed, but that's something that we can fix. Ooh, not found. Is it hallucinating again? Solid INTL. It's at 1.9.5. Let's check npm over here. I find it interesting that when I search on npm, like the exact name, it does not come. It does not come in as the first place, and there's just a lot of things that I really don't care about. So let's see packages, and we had where was it? Solid NTN. Should be this one, shouldn't it? What do we have in our package? It made up a package. Wow. And I didn't catch that. That's interesting. I think it just might be just that it wanted to use this one. Oh, come on, reject. Okay, installed. What are we doing here? Let's see. Let's put this here. Solid INTL doesn't exist. The package does not exist. Let's see how you do with this. Wow, that's the second time it's really messed up like that. Might be because it's like a new project and I still have the rules, but it's a very bad ad. So let's see. And sometimes I kind of question, okay, is it doing these mistakes intentionally, or what is the deal there? Let's see. Still has some issues. I think it's going to fix it. So let's kind of start reviewing in here. Sure. So it does the header with about, and there's the language theme selector. Language theme selector. Main is the outlet, and in footer or below footer we have the other things. Yes, I'll just accept everything. No, it does not work. INT and T nav about. Well, it moved me from the router. That's why I cannot accept it, because I have been moved. No. Kept the routes here, but then it didn't really do anything interesting. But annoying that it switches the view for me, as it works on things. Kind of curious if the projects with the ICU format, if it's going to work. As you can see over here, if that's going to work or not. Come on, what's this? Oh, reformat code. Okay, let's. Yeah, it's not good. We might need to start from scratch again. Because once it kind of gets stuck into that, with the initial error that it did here, then it might just get too stuck. And the problem here, what we have then is that you can relay, the AI kind of chaperones you towards the layout and of the code and everything as it has been done, kind of from what it has. So it's really. Oh, here we go. Okay, it looks. Well, no, it's not there yet, but it switches the theme with a nice animation. Not sure about the languages, but you saw it when I went to Japanese. Japanese doesn't have a dark theme. That's a bit. I didn't check. You can switch. Oh, what's happening there? It's doing more stuff than it should. Oh, there we go. Now it's. So I really love the option to the theme changing, how it does it sequentially with the animation. Come on, it's fixing the home. We'll see. I think I will have to kind of accept right now that I will have one format, ICU message format, which for my personal site, it's fine. I'm not doing too much fancy things there, but for say my production or like the big little universe, I need that. It's just the message format is very powerful and good standard. and just like all the other things, I just did not find. Well, it just looks like it was just really developer doing that with only a few languages in mind. So it looked to me that it kind of misses a lot of the nuances, and instead of really getting there. Okay. Yeah. So looks great. At least no, it doesn't look great. It looks basic. There's like really nothing interesting here, but looks basic. Make the light theme more play on traditional Japanese aesthetics and colors. Let's just do that, and I'll do here make the layout more interesting and logical. For example, the link to blog should be in the top menu. Let's see what it will come with. And if it has like actually enough to play with, that's like another thing. It uses the variables, which is exactly how I would do it. So that's great, because we don't want to have the colors anywhere else. Let's see what's fixing. Kuro. Interesting. So not sure if those are actually the names of those colors. I don't necessarily think so, but it kind of uses the Shiro. It uses the Japanese names. Okay. Yeah, that's more interesting. That's actually some of the decisions there, like I as a developer would not be able to make. So let's go back here to the router. What we really need to find or fix is let's see here. Okay. Blog about home. Oh, it's still working on it. Not sure what it wants to say here, but I'll gonna get to it. Good. And it's not working. I only see IDs. So let's get that sorted. In the meantime, as it works, let me kind of go back here to 10 stack to it's out of my way. So why do we have it here? The root route, basic route, create file route. Basic routes match specific path. For example, about settings notification are basic routes. They match the path exactly. Index routes specifically target their parent routes when it's matches. Exactly, I know child route is match. Let's make a look at an index route as post URL. Okay. It's kind of confusing. I'm creating a file route, which is post. So why doesn't it pick it up? And it's in that. I kind of feel like I am already kind of writing down the route. So why should I? What? Okay. We have the layout. I'm still not sold on these. Gonna have to have like routes, and so just like create a lot of files. I just feels like, again, I'm not feeling it. I am. It just feels like playing around with file names, which generates, as we saw there with the what they have here, that instead of the star, they use, where was that? Yeah, they they use a dollar sign, because the star does not play well with most with CLI tools and file names. So I think it's very much seems to be very much just preference, which is most of these things. Let's be honest. Okay. Now we have some patterns and other things here that looks. Yeah. It loves to do these effects that it kind of pops up out, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. It's still doing something. Okay, now it just wants to run things, which is pointless because I'm running it here. That's one thing I would love to have integrated in here. Route reads, route matching. Maybe this can explain to me. So your route tree, all your routes are now sorted to match the most specific route first. This means that regardless of the order your route tree is defined, routes will always be sorted in this order: index route, static route, dynamic routes, splat wildcard routes. Consider the following: so the route tree, block, post ID, index, and new index. After sorting, the route tree will look index, the most specific, and finishing up with over there. The final order represents the image. So if I want to go to block, we'll go there. If it's block my post, we'll go over there. Just root it, we'll just go to root. Another route goes to the final one. Okay, so like everywhere else, nothing. File-based routing. Guys, I still don't get it beyond simple apps. I'm sorry. Most of the time, stack router should be written for file-based routing and is intended to help you understand more how to configure file-based routing and technical details behind how it works. While file-based routing is preferred and recommended way to configure stack router, you can also use code-based routing if you prefer. And simplicity. I am not so sure about the simplicity, but you can look at the files and yes, you see it. So, okay, I give you that. Organization. Routes are organized in a way that mirrors the URL structure of your application. Okay. But again, what if I have a module that gets used repeatedly through the code base and has its own routing? That's where I kind of get stuck. As your application grows, file-based routing makes it easy to add new routes and maintain existing ones. Maybe. Not too sure here. Code splitting. File-based routing allows stack router to automatically code split your routes for better performance. I think that is the killer argument. Type safety. You have that with the other one as well, so that's not an argument here. Consistency. File-based routing enforces a consistent structure for your routes, making it easier to maintain and update your application and move from one project to another. Let's see. Okay, and I think I might have potential solution for my integrated or like the modules that get reused. So it's one page like thing, like comments potentially, unless you get into like dedicated pages and multiple archives, then you can kind of make that. I've been thinking I can have like but even that's a comment structure or somewhere, but again, that's just does not. I'll have to ask the chat there. Okay, so it's finished. So quickly double check. It is completely wow, look at that. Not really playing well with the INTL thing, which it's kind of also shows that probably like the most projects out there are not really structured towards it. That would be my guess. So it doesn't really have that much information, because unless you're like me, where you have INTL immediately, especially like if you're like an English speaker, then you oftentimes don't think about it, just put it in there statically. Then that might be why it's struggling. struggling with it. And there was also next, I am at the end. I think it was this one. I think next is the wait, in an Excel spreadsheet? My God. Why? But that's not it. That's not the one. There is. It's an old one. Because it was something like that. INTL something next. What about this one? No. I think this might be the biggest one. Yes. That is the one. You can see it's also the meteor is there. So that shows just how they haven't really updated the picture here. It's locais, phrase, and all the other ones. So if it does not fixes it, okay. It failed to fix it, but at least it's not giving us things. So that's it. Okay. I kind of like what it's doing here, which I can have a look. Okay, it goes to my blog over here. So I think this is design-wise a good start. I'm going to figure out best INTL, how to do this properly. I think since we are using Meteor, I'm not too keen necessarily to jump. Yes, I necessarily don't want to jump into the just INTL for the local client only. So I'm thinking of actually using INT next or something similar. And the problem I had with it is, again, it kind of uses its own it's its own syntax, but it does, I remember it does have like a plugin for the let's see, let's see, ICU IATN formats, that will be over here. And why do I have still this thing here? That's as a bug. So INX ICU, which is based on Yahoo stuff. Oh no, 2 years ago, any update? When using this module, only the ICE message format is respected. This means the IATNX format interpolation will not work. So, for example, instead of hi name, it's hi name. Okay, who cares? So let's give this okay. It is still not working. Let's switch to using, I should probably kill it, using INT next with ICU message format, blank, so that we can use the strings easily on the server as well. So I just wanted to configure, and then I'll take it from there. That's the thing. It's also kind of my issue with existing Meteor solutions. Why is it giving here solid primitives? Install INTNext, INTNext ICU, INTNext browser language detector. I'm not sure what the primitives, but maybe it can work with it easily. So we'll see what's going to come out of what the smart brain is going to figure out. But kind of back to laying out how I want my stuff here. So home is clear, just greetings, and I will be extending this to kind of have a bit more. About will be pretty much my resume plus some extra things. Blog I will update, so it also grabs my stuff from Dev2 for the technical, and from Litter Universe for the creative. I will want a section about my creative writing. That will be another part, and let's see. What else should be? I'll have, of course, the link to call.com. What else should there be on a personal website like this? I will kind of be like the next step. It doesn't make sense for this to be Meteor if I won't have any specific, dynamic or features that I can engage with. So I will be. So the next part is going to be kind of for my sponsors, and this is where I really am looking forward to see what AI is going to offer for me in regards of connecting to my GitHub, retrieving my sponsors, creating the accounts for them, or giving them access here, and all that stuff. So that will be what I really will then kind of push, where I'm going to push. I'm going to push the AI here to kind of do that stuff for me, because it just that integration can be super annoying. So at least kind of get you started. So let's refresh. And of course it's making up stuff. So I'll have to correct it. We'll have to kind of fix this own. Imports INTN. Oh, come on. This is going to get embarrassing. And I'm not asking for like anything special. Well, it's just freaking give me translation. I would have thought that would be like a very common task, but it looks like not maybe for solid solid projects, or maybe there's enough open source ones. Which is pity. So I'll just probably tell it to stick to int and x. int and x, use ICU, use language detector, caches, local storage. Look up local storage language navigator. Okay, so it looks good, but I don't think these solid primitives is going to. Of course, we have the JSON format. JSON before. Principles. Okay. So yeah, that's, I think, that's it. And I would also, kind of going back again, what I want on the webpage, given my sponsors and everything, I kind of want to do their, like my sponsorship, show how much time I spend on open source stuff and related things versus, then like, and then I'll have also a list of my current clients, which can be also, which will be anonymized potentially, and kind of show people how much space I have to accept additional work. So that's where things are going to get. So it does have some translation function here, maybe. This. Let's give it a last shake. Yeah, it's just, again, it expects something from, and I would say this is React, really, that is trying to figure out here, instead of realizing, okay, this is solid, this is int next. It's not a thing. And oh, now it actually works. Interesting. For the good. Let's see. But the switching does not. Okay, I see the translated text, but language select no longer works, and I am stuck on a single. Oh, language. Just go a bit overtime here. Okay, spam constantly. Let's see if it can figure this out. Oh, there we go. Nihongo. Eigo. Chekogo. Perfect. So this, I think, I will tweak. Whoops, it's messed up the. Oh, it's probably working on them something right now. Yep. That's nice. Okay. I will of course tweak this and I'll do all the improvements. We'll have probably a bit more stuff. And I think, and this is the big question, which I hope maybe some lawyers will be able to answer me tomorrow as I'm meeting with them when it comes to AI. And that is, AI generated code. Should it be open source, or since I'm paying for tools like these, can I just use it like proprietary? Because the issue is like with AI generated images. The same thing, like if you try like to generate by AI an entire book or anything, it cannot be, you cannot copyright it. And that's the question with AI. What's going to happen with AI generated code? Could it only be used in open source, and is it then not possible to use in a commercial project or anything that's copyrighted and protected, because the code generated by AI cannot be say protected or by copyright or any other intellectual property, just because of how the training data and everything else came to be, which is pretty much scouring the internet for text and other things, including copyrighted stuff. So that will be a big question. Where does that where will that come into play? So that will be, I think that will be the big question that I have. Because then, kind of my goal with this is to make this into potentially, well, two things, like a general, maybe open source this. I think that will be one. But I'll do this, open source it, and so that other people can, reuse the code. That's number one. And second is to potentially potentially create like a template for writers' personal sites, but in that case, I will probably have to switch to something that will be not Meteor, just to make it easier to deploy me. So maybe like Solid Start, or maybe actually even better if it's just like a headless things that you deploy, maybe like just even on GitHub or through GitHub with your own domain, and then it connects to Literary Universe and fetches the data from there. So that's just like another thing to consider. And yeah, another thing I'll also be adding here is to kind of log in with Literary Universe once I get around to actually do all out server there, which definitely will be coming, because just need to kind of get all the entire development server ready and going. And yeah, I think I can definitely make the design much better than the current one with AI. So that will be fun. I just need to make it more personal, because right now this is just like the classical corporate landing page. So I'll have to be a lot more content here that I want to get done. So yeah, big plans. We kind of made the first step. Kind of look. I want to now do a bit of really check if it's using the solid INTN here, or if it's just, no, it's not using that. It's using just next INTN next. So that's where we kind of got stuck there, and kind of looking at things, I think, going forward for myself. Here we have the projects that I will have to test. Oh, here is a good. Should it be 2? No, actually no. Years number. I think, where do I have that? Isn't that about me? Yes. So let's see if this is going to. Years number. If that is going to work. Okay, I did that. Okay, that looks fine. So I think it might be doing the ICU properly, which is nice. So that makes it easier for me, and for other things as well. Good. So yeah, that's coming. I think I will do a quick stream tomorrow if I get the information that I'm looking for, meaning that information, about AI in code and how we do it, because then that would mean that if I cannot use kind of what AI generates in code proprietary in the companies, that will change, I think, the discussion a lot. I don't expect to have the answer related tomorrow. It will be like, I expect, like with everything, because this is also related to the AI Act. It might not be really the answer there, or there might not be like a legislation. So everybody's like waiting to see what the first court decisions are going to be, which really is not good for business. The good news is if it's then ruled that we cannot really copyright AI, or cannot, any code that uses AI for generation needs to be open sourced, then that's good for developers, which means we are staying in business. We'll have to go unlearn to use AI as many of us have used or learned to use. Let's see, but then another big question is, what about China and other hostile countries? Where they will, really, who don't really care about any IP rights or protection, so they will just grab what we put, open source, and then use it for their means without open sourcing it, which is something I think ChatGPT is right now struggling with. What's the face with the Chinese competitor who took their pretty much their data, used some other open source stuff, and everybody was like, "Oh, they're so amazing!" And yes, if you don't care about property rights, then yes, then so that's going to be. It already is an ongoing topic here on my streams, and I kind of feel the need to figure out how do I break out of it, because it's that this is kind of what everybody's talking. How do I break out of this AI cycle of talking about it, working with it, and trying to figure out how to do something interesting? Because then even here, I kind of start, okay, I want to do it myself, and then I'm just like, okay, let's just have the AI do it because this is so tedious. The laziness sets in, and it's a problem. So because this kind of goes also why I became a programmer. I didn't become necessarily like a programmer for the craft, or like just to be a programmer. I became a programmer because I wanted the application. I wanted the result. So, and that is still my main focus. So if I have something that can, with my directions, code it, it becomes a very hard thing. So many questions, and to that I say, stay tuned for more. Maybe coming tomorrow already. We'll have another stream for Meteor Dispatches on Tuesday with Alim and Jan as well. So we'll see what we have there, and had a really nice one on Friday, which is kind of about the Zen, what you need to do to get into the Zen of things. Should have probably gotten my music and everything so I could really focus on it next time. My mistakes there. And if I don't have a stream tomorrow, then on Monday I'll have another one, and I need to figure out exactly what we are going to do there. Kind of right now, but scatterbrain as Literary Universe launch approaches. So we'll have to see. Maybe I should do like some provocative title: "Is AI going to put me out of business?" or something like that. So that's the schedule for the next for this and beginning next week. Again, stay tuned if you like what I'm doing, or would you like me to spend more time on working in open source and Meteor Community packages? Maybe that's what I'll do probably on next week. Can I do a triage? Yeah, I think that sounds really nice. So let's do a triage of all the Meteor Community packages to see where we are at. I'll schedule it up right after this. So if you would like to, me to do more of that, to kind of push forward all these community packages, please sponsor me on GitHub, github.com/sponsor/StorytellerCZ. Don't forget to leave like, subscribe for the channel for more stuff, and comment your thoughts on AI. Should all AI generated code be copyrighted or not? Or sorry, open source by default or not? So Let me know what you think, and we'll continue this discussion tomorrow or on Monday, depending how things evolve. And with that, have a great week, and I'll see you latest on Friday.